Donna Schwartz here from the Everything Saxophone podcast. We're at the NAMM Show 2024. These podcast episodes at the NAMM Show are being sponsored by Rovner Products. It is their 50th anniversary year. Now we are at the Legere booth. You can see the awesome backdrop that we have here with all these great reeds. I personally have been playing the American cut for a number of years. I've been playing the signature cut as well, but I'm here with Chris Kortschot again because we're going to be talking about the new cut, the French cut. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Donna.
All right, so yeah, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the French cut, which is available for which instruments?
We have released the French cut for B-flat clarinet, alto saxophone, and tenor saxophone, and based on the reception so far, soprano and bari and bass clarinet are all around the corner.
All right, that's going to be great news for everybody to know. I'm curious also, the reed strength sizes.
Sure. So on tenor and alto, they range from 2.0 to 4.0. On clarinet, it's 2.5 to 4.5. We are saying that the reed is playing a little bit softer than signature counterpart. So if you're playing a 3 alto signature, we would recommend playing a 3.25 French cut, or at least trying that, and making use of our exchange program if that doesn't feel like the right reed for you.
And that's a great thing to know too. They do have a reed exchange program. I've been playing Legere reeds for like well over a decade, probably 15 or so years, and I can't even count on one hand how many times I needed to replace a reed or exchange a reed. That, in all seriousness. So the reeds are made incredibly well, but they do have that exchange program if you do need it. So
sure.
Let's talk about what makes the French cut different than the American cut or the signature.
Yes, so the signature is our middle of the road cut. It's good for jazz, it's good for classical, but it is right in the middle in terms of brightness and resistance. The American cut we designed to be much freer blowing, quite a bit brighter, easier to play in a way. It's got a bit of an edge to the sound that most people will hear on their first blow. As soon as they find the right strength, it does have a bit of edge to the sound that lots of players like, but there is a group of players that don't really want that. And so that's what the French cut is for. So it's for the players that want a more refined, sort of symphonic sound. It was designed as a classical saxophone reed. What we're finding now is that players from all kinds of genres are finding that it is the sound that they want. It's the reed that they want. So this was maybe a bit of a mistake on our part to call it a classical reed, when really what it is a dark, resistant reed that gives players full control of their sound. It's less responsive, which is what a lot of players are looking for, compared to the American cut, which means that it's just a little bit easier to control than that extremely free-blowing American cut.
That's a great point. I was just talking with Jody Jazz before about like mouthpieces. You don't want a mouthpiece that's so free-blowing because you can't control it. The same
Sure.
thing's with the reed.
And Jody Espina is actually a great example. He has tried all of our reeds over the years. And they've never been quite what he was looking for. So obviously Jody is a jazz player, and the French cut he told us is by far the best synthetic reed that he's played. So that's quite the compliment. We were quite happy to receive that feedback. So he's a perfect example of a player that we didn't design this reed for, but is finding that it's really something that works with his setup. I'm not sure if he's playing it exclusively, but I know that he had very positive things to say about it when we sent him his package.
Yeah, he's a great player too. I mean, he's just a phenomenal player. So, and I hear him play, all the time. So I could see how this can definitely work. And we also spoke yesterday about one of your people that you endorse, Jason Whitmore.
Sure.
And Jason plays a fairly bright setup. So let's talk about this because this is another use case.
Sure. So Jason, I think he definitely goes for a brighter sound, but is finding that the French cut is right for him. I don't know if that's because he wants to bring back the brightness a little bit, or whether he prefers the control and the resistance that the French cut provides. Whether the American cut is just a bit too snappy. I know he likes the American cut a lot still. He played on it for for quite a few years, but I believe his last couple orders to us were exclusively French cut. So we're happy that it's meeting players that we didn't exactly expect it to be for, but we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see who uses it in the future, whether it's exclusively classical players or whether jazz players continue to like it as well.
Yeah, I think the important point is that it depends on your setup, and obviously the sound that you're going for, but it also depends a lot on your setup already.
Absolutely.
Because if you already have a dark setup, try it out, but it may not be the American cut may be better for you. If you have a bright setup, where and you use, you've been using brighter reeds and brighter mouthpiece, then this may dial it down a little bit too, for sure. So just some definite things to think about. I know we were talking about how your initial thought was that this would be for classical players, but I could see this also being for people that are playing in combos, jazz combos and stuff like that, where they may not want such a bright sound, so to speak. They may want to blend more.
Absolutely. I think we'll learn a lot over the next 6 months. It was only released in December, so we're still learning a lot about which types of players actually like it. One other thing I'll say about our exchange program is that it's not just an exchange of strength. If you buy the French cut and find that you just really don't like it, we would be happy to send you a signature or an American cut or a clarinet reed, whatever you like. So it's an exchange program that spans both clarinet and saxophone in all strengths.
That's awesome. And remind me again, let's say someone gets the French cut, let's say 2.5. What, in terms of the American cut 2.5, is it equivalent, or would you feel that it's a little less strong than the American?
It would be a little less strong. Most players are saying that it's a little less strong. So a 2.75 French cut would be equal to a 2.5 American or signature.
Got it. Okay,
so
good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's where we're recommending people start.
Thank you for the clarification. I'm just trying to think that through. So the great thing is that there's quarter strength sizes available. That's always so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Anything else that you want to tell us about the French cut reed?
I mean, it's really in the profile that makes it different. So the American cut is a reed where we took the material from the outside, pushed it to the middle, and let edges of the reed really vibrate in sort of a non-uniform way. What we've done with the French cut is the exact opposite. We've moved material from the middle to the outside, created a kind of a strange-looking plateau right through the middle of the reed, and what that does is suppresses those higher-level overtones and it really brings out the body and warmth and darkness of the reed. So, yeah, I think it definitely depends on what the rest of the player's setup is, as you mentioned, and we'll see who ends up playing the French cut as their primary reed.
Yeah, and style of music I'm thinking as well too. I'm so glad you mentioned that too, because I think just people knowing this information, it's going to help them feel more informed when they try this out, when they make the choices. I had one listener say, Donna, I want you to ask Legere. I can't seem to ever find the Legere 2.0s in the stores. Is there a reason for that?
There is no reason for that.
There you go.
It's we certainly make them across the saxophone range in every cut. So maybe that's something we should talk to our distributors about. But
that or everybody's buying them up.
Maybe, perhaps, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But I had to ask because inquiring minds wanted to know.
Yes, thank you for the question. I will pass that along.
Awesome, that's great. Well, listen, Chris, thank you so much. It took a little bit because he's been busy with meetings and stuff, but I'm glad that you had the opportunity to meet with us and talk about the new French cut. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you. This has been great.